What is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny gameplay video. In this video, I'm going to cover something I've been requested to do for a long time, and that is to show gameplay and footage of me clawing. So, I use what's called a claw setup. I use a completely default controller. You can see this is not a scuff or anything like that. No control freaks. It's just a default controller on a default button layout. And I do what's called clawing. You'll notice my pointer finger is on the X, circle, square, and triangle buttons. So that's what's called a claw technique. Here's how you're going to grip the controller, okay? So everything's pretty typical here except for one minor difference, and that is the location of your index finger. See, my pointer finger is now covering these four buttons. Even if you're on an Xbox controller, it's the same thing. So this point, you notice it kind of looks like a claw, like you're making a claw shape. But the thing is, a lot of people say, hey, that's going to give you like carpal tunnel or something. Dude, I've been doing this since Combat Evolved. So I've been doing this for a long time. Like, let's see, what am I? I'm 28 now, and that game came out when I was in middle school. So well over a decade that I've been clawing. My hands are fine. And I don't like tense up. It's a relaxed position, so it's not like you're really stressing those muscles or anything. But here's what it'll let you do. So you notice I can get this revive with my pointer finger on the square while still moving around, and I can stay out of sight, acquire a target if I need to. That's what clawing allows you to do. Now again, here you'll see one of the greatest advantages of clawing is that it allows you to jump using your pointer finger on the X button while not taking your thumbs off the thumbstick, so you can still accurately rotate your body and acquire targets while you're airborne. And that's a huge factor in why I claw and how that makes you a better player. So clawing your jump is going to dramatically increase your overall effectiveness from the air, because it means that there's no downtime in between actually hitting the jump button and rotating your your body. So you never take your thumb off the thumbstick. You've got great character control, and that's going to give you just that much more of an edge while you're in combat. Now, a lot of guys will invest in scuffs to do this. I don't. That's a lot of money to do everything that I can already do clawing. And then a lot of people, they get used to the scuff controller. 2 months later, it breaks. And so now, instead of messing up their mojo and going back to a default controller, they now feel like they have to spend another $150 or however much they spent on their scuff to replace it, just so that their gameplay doesn't suffer. So that's a little too expensive for my taste. See, here I'll just show you in slow-mo a couple of kills where clawing gave me an edge because I was jumping. You can see my pointer finger on the X button there as I jump, and I never take my thumb off the thumbstick. After the engagement, my finger goes right back there, and I keep using my pointer finger here to jump, and another guy's going to approach from the right side. So I'm going to jump up and throw a throwing knife. Now my throwing knife accuracy is going to be greatly increased because I never have to stop rotating my body. I can still do target acquisition while jumping. Going to give me much more of an edge. And then even again here, I'm going to push into the mound and get some jumping shots, with my hand cannon. So that's just that's the edge it's going to give you. Now you'll notice here, I go to snipe this guy, but my pointer finger went straight to the triangle button, just in case I didn't know this guy was primed. So what I did is I scoped in on him and then put my pointer finger on the triangle button so that if I get a body shot, I can instantly switch to my primary and mop him up. So it just helps out with a lot of things like that, making you a lot quicker, in terms of making your movements, switching your weapons, sliding. I use it to slide, so I'll be sprinting and I'll just use my pointer finger on the circle button to slide. And yeah, man, that's just right here. I can do target acquisition while holding square to pick up the heavy ammo box, and that's where it's at. So clawing ultimately is all about the fluidity of your gameplay. It's going to make it a lot less choppy. You're going to have a lot more control, and your gameplay is going to be a little bit more fluid, and it's going to move a little bit more naturally. So I know getting used to that could take some time for you. I've been doing it for years. But it really won't take too long, I don't think, for most people to just kind of adjust to it. But it's something that you really just have to force yourself to do and be conscious of. And every time you're going to do anything that requires those buttons, just use your pointer finger. Unless it's like, you're not in the game, you're like in a menu or something. Sure, it's maybe just a little bit more comfortable not to claw. But I don't have any discomfort clawing. I've been doing it for well over 10 years now, and I will continue to do it. And it especially works really well in trials when you have to revives, or if you're like a Shade Stepper, or you're using a Twilight Garrison and you have to double tap that circle button or B button. It's just so nice to have that. So I've got hours of claw footage recorded, so what I'll probably do is just upload a full match where you get to watch my hands throughout the entire match. And hopefully I'll just pick a match that includes a lot of variety in terms of the things that I do. So hopefully that'll be helpful for you, and hopefully this little intro to clawing was helpful as well, guys, and I'll catch you in the Crucible.